Blog Talk Radio. Has anyone ever told you you dream too big, that you have too many ideas, that you need to be realistic? What if there was a career and lifestyle that you could completely design yourself that enables you to do what makes your heart truly sing and helps millions of people benefit from what you have to offer? One that provided you with all the money you need to thrive, not just survive. That is the life of an enlightened entrepreneur. Welcome to the Aha Moments radio show, dedicated to the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened entrepreneurs worldwide, with your host, Mariana Cooper, founder of Aha Moments Inc. and AhaMomentsInc.com. Her motto, oh yes, you can have what you want, and you deserve it too. Join us for the next hour and learn to trust your aha moments to lead the way to a passionate and purposeful life. And now here's your host, Mari.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aha Moments radio show for the inspiration, education, and celebration of enlightened entrepreneurs and lightworkers worldwide. I'm Mari, and this is our last live show for 2012. I cannot believe it. I was just saying to Sam, we've been doing this for 2 years now because we started in January of 2011. I can't believe it. We've actually made it through 2 full years of doing our show. So thank you for listening, and welcome to tonight. Tonight is a big show. We're going to be talking all about everything that's been going on, both the very sad and the very happy. I know we have a lot. I've been getting a lot of emails from you guys about the whole thing with the kids at Sandy Hook Elementary School, and we're going to go into that. And did some, I call them insight sessions as opposed to meditation sessions. Now it just came to me today. I was like, yeah, these are insight sessions with these angels. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's been sort of been downloaded to me as far as what this all means. And I know that for weeks now, actually months, we've been talking about how the energy is changing and everything shifting. But, you know, with Friday being this 12/21/12, you know, the world isn't going to end as far as we know, you know, or, you know, that kind of thing. But I will say that the energy now is just beyond explanation. It is absolutely, for lack of a better word, it's pretty crazy. It's been very, very highs and lows, a lot of ups and downs, very typical of, I liken it to when you're putting water through a hose that hasn't been used. You know how there's like air bubbles, and you'll get like, especially if you're using like hot water, you're putting it through a hose or a pipe, and you get that sputter. 1 minute it's like a powerful burst of energy, and then there's steam, and then there's nothing, and then there's, you know, water trickles, and then there's steam, and then there might be a sput of water, and then all of a sudden the water sort of starts to flow. Well, we're in that kind of spit and sputter stage as we shift over to this new grid, as our bodies get sort of synced up, as we get, it's kind of like putting new trains on a track. You know, they had to build the cars in one warehouse, and they had to, of course, build the track on the, you know, the topography of the earth, and then you have to get the trains onto the track, so everything sort of has to be put on and click into gear. Well, that's where we're at now, and change, you know, is glamorized as, you know, especially as motivational speakers and inspirational speakers and, you know, spiritual leaders and, you know, new age gurus or whatever you want to call people in this business. We glamorize change, right? You hear all this, oh, don't you want to change? Oh, don't you want to change? And oh, and if, you know, you've got to start in order to make the change happen, or you got to finish in order to get the rewards of your change. You know, but change is not easy. It's not easy, nor is it comfortable when you've had a certain way of being. And a lot of times we're doing our changes kind of on our own, right? We're focused on our own lives. You know, maybe somebody wants to quit smoking, or they want to, you know, shift a career, or they want to have a baby, or they want to get married, or they want to start a new hobby, or they just want to be, you know, less anxious or lose weight or whatever that change is. But you're kind of doing that more a little bit more solitary. Well, when you have these huge shifts, these huge changes where you're talking about a foundational, for lack of a better word, evolutional change, because that's what you're witnessing is evolution, not just not just physical, geographic evolution or evolution of the animals, but evolution of the energy of mankind. When you have that and you have everybody on the planet going through it, where nobody can compartmentalize and say nothing's happening, and no one can sort of segregate themselves and say, oh, that's happening in Oklahoma, thank God it's not here in New York, or oh, that's happening in Sri Lanka, thank God it's not in the U.S., when everybody is getting affected by, what's happening. You have this group consciousness, this interconnectedness between all of us, and whether you are having a pretty calm week or not, you're feeling the pulse. It's being felt around the world, the pulse of change, the pulse of evolution. And with that comes, some explosive behaviors in people. You'll see earth changes, as we've seen with these hurricanes and various and sundry storms and things around the world. You see it with, the political situations that we have going on around the world. You will see, just huge shifts, and where people are speaking out, even when they're, moving on to the other sides of arguments that in the past they've stood very hard and fast on. You're seeing people soften. I mean, today after this massacre we had, I saw in the news, and I'm never one to watch the news, but I'll tell you, I've been watching a lot of it lately, and I saw that the NRA, the National, the NRA, they absolutely, they said that they were willing to talk about whatever needs to be done so that kids aren't going through this ever again. And not that they ever wanted children to be hurt by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a softening. There's a softening where people who were formerly very, very much on one side of the fence, and you're seeing people who didn't believe in guns in the past start to say, well, maybe people need to have more, arms or whatever. So you're seeing a lot of shifts of positions, a shift of hard and fast. People are not in a position now to compartmentalize and say, okay, that doesn't count for me. It counts for everyone. And so you're seeing some pretty emphatic, emphatic stances, and a sense of unity also that happens with these major catastrophic events like we've had. So we're going to talk about that some more throughout the show. And then, of course, today we're not going to stay completely somber. We have to, pay homage to that, as for sure. But today is our annual holiday wishes call too, or holiday wishes meditation. And I like each year. I've been doing this for several years actually. I like to do this meditation right around the same week each year. Even when I didn't have the radio show, I would hold a free conference call for it. And it's just a time to sort of gather your thoughts, really put everyone else aside, and really get into you and what you most desire for yourself for the coming year. But also tonight we're going to add in what you desire for the planet, because we are in this major evolutionary shift that we have not been in before in history. So you're going to be able to do that as well. I also will be taking some of your calls for some readings. We'll do a few readings tonight, and I see people are already calling in, so that's kind of nice. Hello, everybody. Don't hang up. We'll figure out how to get all this done tonight. And the number to do that is 347-215-9485. So that's 347-215-9485. Okay, so let's get back to the kids, the children's massacre that we had last week. And it's just a few days ago. My gosh, doesn't it seem like it's been like weeks of this, and it's just been a few days because it's been so intense. I was actually when we had 9/11, I was actually in Washington D.C. when the planes hit the World Trade Center, and my friend and I were just talking about today how we had to walk through the streets of Washington to get away from everything because they had hit the Pentagon and blah blah blah. And that time, of course, was heart-wrenching because so many people's lives were lost and there was so much atrocity and whatever. But at the same time, on an energetic level, and that's what happens when you're in this line of business, we always rise up above what's happening in the physical, because everything is happening on more than one plane. You have the physical, but you also have the emotional and the energetic. Okay, so if we just take physical and energetic, you have what's happening on the physical plane, and we're very much down in it. So your humanness, your human beingness is involved. Every single one of us who knows a child, which we all do, and we're close to children, or we have children. I had to go to New York this weekend to see my niece and nephew, so I could just pet them and talk to them and kiss them and hug them and hold them. They're like, Titi, get off of me! You're holding me too tight. And they're kids. They were kind of on their merry way doing their activities, but you just want to touch them, right? You want to just say, I care and I get it, and oh my gosh, and not take anything for granted. And so we have this thing happen, and when you have a situation like that, now when you're going through this whole interplanetary shift, this huge shift 2012 and 1212 and 122112 and all that, you have this overall evolution of mankind. With that evolution needs to come a balancing of compassion, an acceleration of compassion. It's like a compassion, joy. That's fuel. That's fuel for the evolution, especially compassion. Joy is something else. Joy is the fuel for manifestation, but it's like a lighter fluid for manifestation. But fuel for evolution, for shift, for change. When we're talking about upgrading mankind, we need these big jolts of unification, of compassion, of that heart energy. And so when 9/11 happened, and this is what I was getting from my angels as I was journaling and writing. 9/11 happened, it cracked the heart open of the world, right? I mean, we had outpourings. We had what has normally been a very compartmentalized society, and especially around the financial district and then in New York, and everybody's kind of in their own world, and you're all in your own your own little smokestacks, dealing with your own life. And that joins everybody together. We've seen this happening now with all these different storms. I know here in New Jersey, Hurricane Sandy, I mean, my goodness, it was like we became the Waltons, and nobody knows each other. We all live in these houses for years and years and years next to each other. All of a sudden, we're all having dinner because the lights are out and everybody has to talk to each other. So it's this huge thrust of impactful events that are shifting the geography, because the beach that I meditate on isn't there anymore, but it's also shifting the heart energy of, and decompartmentalizing us and reminding us that we're not separate, and reminding us of our unity and our oneness. And so this thing with the children was this decade's 9/11. It was a soul group coming together. Just like the 9/11, I've always said this, and I've gotten flack for it, but, I still stand by it, that the folks who passed away in 9/11 saved lives of people, for the last decade. Because what happened was all the systems that had holes in them were now looked at. And that's exactly what's happening with our kids. We had 20 kids die, but they saved tens of thousands of kids' lives. And I'm not saying by any means that this is the right thing or this should have happened or anything. I have been devastated. The human part of me, all parts of me has been devastated. All my friends are like, "You never watch the news. I've never heard you like this. You're freaked out." I didn't even leave the house for 2 days because I was just this is so over the top for me. But when you fly up a little higher and you say, okay, where's the meaning in this? What is this? It's that heart energy. There is nothing that's going to crack the hearts of society open more than children. And so these 20 little lives and their incredible, heroic teachers that were with them have done a huge service for us as a population, as a civilization, in that they have opened the hearts. They have shined huge, bright strobe lights, spotlights on major things that have needed to be addressed and that have been polarized and that have polarized our society in such a opposition to each other. Guns or no guns, school systems, safety, security, child rearing, religion, all kinds of things. And it's just at this time of such dramatic change and all of the energetic structures that have shifted that require us to be at a much higher vibrational level, this has happened. And so it fast forwards our evolution. It fast forwards us so that when we do fully connect into this grid, into this energy, which you feel you're getting plugged into, whether you like it or not, we're all being plugged into it. The intensity of what's going on right now, the intensity is beyond measurement. And I've spoken to many, many, many leaders about this. We've been talking about it, through all the telesummits and everything leading up to it, but all of the channels are saying very similar things, And this is why it's so important to listen to channeled good, I'm going to say good channeled information, because you can, we can all synthesize stuff and sort of think in our mental minds, but when you get those downloads from on high, it's kind of like, that other side, that greater part of us, our higher, our infinite selves, and all of our infinite selves collectively saying, here, mankind, here's the next layer, here's the next download of information for you, here's what you need next to survive, so the planet doesn't have to go away in order for us to evolve. And so this is the type of event that will happen. And you've seen it throughout history. This isn't the only, level. Now, are there concrete things on Earth we need to focus on, mental health care and all this? Absolutely. Could we have a whole show on that? Absolutely. I have a mental health background, too. I could talk with you all day long about that, guns, and everything else. But I'm talking about flying higher. And so what we can do is to know that these little beings, there was not one. As I looked at those pictures, there was not one new soul in them. These were old masters in these children. And if you listen to their parents speak about that, there were several of them that said, one of the kids, I think her name was Jessica, they said, she was the CEO of the family. She was such an old soul. They were beyond their years. Some of them were even prophetic about how they were perceiving that day. One went and, said, Daddy or Mommy, I love you, and they when they didn't normally do that particular morning, that kind of thing. And you just hear the story. So you want you to listen with both sides. Of course, that heartbreaking, connection on a human level, but listen energetically, too, as to what's really being said, because there's a tremendous amount of gifts in the little anecdotal things that these kids have said, and when you listen to their parents, and you can send light and you can send energy. Sending light to a situation is always the best, most powerful healing. Of course, you're going to send your donations and money and teddy bears and balloons and all that, because we're talking about the human beingness part of it, the earthbound part of it. But from the energetic part of it, as light workers, you don't have to be there in order to make a tremendous impact in the evolution of the energy. Okay, and the energetic evolution. So with all of that being said, I'm going to move on to some of the other stuff we were going to talk about tonight. But, we're just sending all kinds of light and prayers to the families, and we're all on the same page, I know, with that whole situation. Okay, so let's see, where are we at for time? Okay, so the other thing that's going on is in your own personal evolution. Okay, I don't know if you've been feeling it, but this week, these last few weeks, if you're feeling the least bit confused, like 1 minute you're kind of know exactly, you have a to-do list or whatever, and you know what you want to get done, and then you get through the first task, or you're halfway in the middle of it, and then all of a sudden you go over to the other thing, and you've been like a normally pretty systematic person who could focus and stay focused and all that, but all of a sudden you're really not focused, and it's very hard to focus. Or if you're one of those people who's never been able to focus and all of a sudden you can, that is very appropriate for right now. That's very common for what's happening right now. I've gotten lots of calls from friends who are saying, Mari, I'm so tired. I sleep and I can't, or I'm getting, Mari, I can't sleep at all. It's all this, wherever your body was out before this plugging into this new energy, wherever your body was at, anything that was weak is being shored up and fed. Anything that was sort of overdone is being sort of settled, so that you can be in balance, because there's nothing worse than making a big change and being completely out of balance. So we're kind of on this fast forwarding for balancing ourselves. And hopefully this is making sense to you guys, especially when you start listening to the podcast. You can listen to it over again to get more connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll do some angel readings, and then in our third segment, we'll do our meditation. What I would suggest is if you want to really participate in the meditation, if you haven't done so already, write a quick list of what you really, really, really desire. I mean the biggest, most amazing version of what you desire, because when we do this guided meditation, we're going to be really working with the dimension where it already exists. You know, one of the things that's really important to know is that there really is no such thing as time, and we're going to see a lot more of that and hear a lot more about that in the next several years. But because there's no real such thing as time, we are actually working with all of our versions of ourself, the self that we want to evolve to and the self from where we've come. It's all happening simultaneously, which means that we can cross to other dimensions of ourself and actually take on that version of ourself and have it connect to us right now in this now moment, in this present time. So meaning that all things can stay the same, your family, your house, and all that, but whatever you want to change, you can take on the version of you where that part that you want to change is the change you desire, and then just dissolve right back to where you are now. But without actually going back, you're just moving over to the dimension where what you desire is your truth at that time. And you will manifest it much quicker than ever before, as long as you're willing to receive it and you don't change your mind and you take action. A couple of little disclaimers there, but you will. This grid, this new energy that we're with right now, there's that whole lag time of manifestation has collapsed. So that's one of the other reasons why there's so much volatility, because if you think any negative stuff, or if you're focusing on it a lot, it's going to manifest much quicker. So same thing with the positive stuff. So put your list together. We'll talk a little bit more about this before we get into the meditation, so you kind of know what you're, working with. And it's just going to start to give you a taste of the power. Now, this is going to be, if you're listening to this via podcast and you're doing this after 12/21/12, you will feel it even stronger, because then the energy will all be kind of in place. But this is so you can do this meditation over again. I highly suggest that you do. All right, so go ahead and on the break start making your lists. And if you'd like to call in for a quick angel reading, you can do so at 347-215-9485. That's 347-215-9485. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show. We will be right back.
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Do you ever get a hunch about something and ignore it, only to find out later you were right after all? Do you know that you're intuitive but need help interpreting what you get? Need quick answers to burning questions but don't have the time to wait for a private reading? Then Mari's Intuitive Living Oracle cards are the tool for you. 45 gorgeous laminated cards and a full book of interpretations come together in a beautiful velvet bag. The cards have been designed and energized to give you the answers right now. No more sleepless nights weighing pros and cons. Ask the cards your questions and see what message your intuition has for you. To learn more and get your deck now, Go to the store at www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Intuitive Living cards now. That's the store at ahamomentsinc.com. The answers are truly within your reach.
Are you at a crossroads in your life, facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
Hello, we are back. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and tonight we're talking all about all the shifting energy, and we're doing our holiday wishes meditation. And I also forgot to mention in our housekeeping that we have our Lightworkers, the Path of the Lightworker teleseries that we're going to be doing. I'll be teaching that starting January 14th, and I sold out of my early bird registration spots in I think it was like 24 hours last week. So I added 5 more, and I have, I think, 2 or 3 more left, and that will be it for early bird registration, which ends this coming Friday. I wanted to add some more spots because I went through them so quickly, which is very exciting. And we have people from all over the world, really, registering, so that's going to be a fun, really, really informative class. And if you like what we're talking about as far as this multidimensionality, this is not a totally beginner class. This is, getting into the meat of stuff. This is really, we've done all the angel stuff and kind of, I call it the lighter weight stuff. Now we're getting into the heavy duty stuff, the big energy shifts, how to manage that, how to work with yourself and across various dimensions, that whole thing with the time and timing of things, and this whole energetic evolution. And we'll be doing channeled meditations each week as well, and teaching you about how to channel for yourself and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really good, solid course just for light workers. And if you think you are one, or if you know you are one, or you are aspiring to become one, it's for you. So I'd love to have you in the class, and you can go to ahamomentsinc.com /Lightworker series. So it's Lightworker and then series 1S with Lightworker series, SERIES. So I'd love to have you, and that's the early registration. You get $100 off. The full price is $297, which is actually pretty low for a 5-week course. But I took $100 off for the early registration. So if you register before this Friday, sooner than later, because for it's either the 3 spots or before Friday, whichever goes first, and you'll get $100 off. So you'll still be able to register after Friday, but it will be $100 more. So that's how that works. So, okay, so hopefully I'll have you in class, and we'll really get very deeply into this. It's hard to get into this stuff on a radio show that, where you have short time and breaks, and we're trying to get a lot done. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so if you'd like to call in, we have a lot of people already on the line, but if you'd like to call in and try to get through here, it's 347-215-9485. Okay, so let's see, who do we have? Let's take Jane in Australia. My goodness, you're calling in from really far, Jane. How are you? Do I have you there? Sam?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
How are you?
Hi, Mari. Mari, I I'm a children's doctor. I've worked for many years in child protection and sexual abuse and drug and alcohol and so on, but I haven't worked for the last 6 years because I have a very severe chronic fatigue. And so I've put myself in the bush where I feel as if I just sit and make light. But I wondered whether that's going to shift or whether that's in fact a good job for me. You know, just doing this sort of really private, sacred work and not actually out there in the community.
The path of many light workers is first we're put into a very harsh kind of environment. What even a lot of times before we even know that, you know, we feel spiritual or we're a light worker or anything like that. We're usually, because we come in, we hold so much light and so much energy. We're put into very traditional jobs that are very high powered a lot of times, very high stress a lot of times. A lot of times we're plucked right down into corporate America, or we're doctors, or we're scientists, or we're engineers. A lot of the major channels like Lee Carroll, channels Cryon was an engineer, you know. Esther Hicks was very, in a very corporate job, nothing to do with spirituality. Nobody's a yoga teacher. Nobody's doing Bikram yoga. Nobody's doing Tai Chi. They're all like in these regular mucky muck jobs, you know. And so you were in a very, very intense position because you did carry so much light. But what happens in our awakening process, and I was just actually writing about this in my book, in our awakening process, when we start to wake up in those harsh environments, it's kind of like we're like, wait a second, oh my goodness, I can't do this anymore. My body can't handle this. I need solitude, you know. And that is not just us feeling we need the solitude, but it's also Spirit calling us forward to the recognition of the light work that we are here to do, and the evolution of going from, you know, just holding space in those dense environments that really require our light, to then actively being consciously involved in the light work process. Now, the bridge between the two is this time of solitude. Many of us go through this. I went through that when I left corporate America and started, you know, doing some consulting work, but I was very solitary. I sold my house. I just was very, very solitary. So I think you going out to the bush is to find some equilibrium, is to find your own voice again, and really to find the voice of your intuition. When you're in a highly regulated environment like you were in, and on top of that it was, you know, a harsh environment, and you're dealing with kids, it tells me how powerful your spirit is, what an old soul you are, what a master you are to be put into that position. And they're kind of saying, here, take a break. This is as much for you. You think you're sending light to the planet, but they're sending light to you to sort of heal you, rebalance you. Now, once you get through a certain portion of that, you will start to feel this sort of hankering to get back into civilization, and that will be your time to integrate. And I actually was on a call with a gal who's in an ashram in India a week ago or so. I was doing a reading, and she's a wonderful, wonderful soul. I mean, my gosh, what an amazing being. But I could feel the energy of her being pulled back into society, because the work now requires, it's just this, over the next year or so, she'll start to feel this hankering to go back and sort of be in modern day life. And that's where we're going as light workers now. We are going to have some people who certainly are going to sit in the bush like you're doing, or who are on the mountaintop, and who are on the ashrams, and we're all, you know, who are going to kind of hold those pillars of light to a certain extent. But a tremendous amount of those people are going to be coming off the mountaintops and going back into modern-day civilization, where they can have that experience of earth life as we came to really live it and enjoy it, but with the integration of the consciousness. So we're going to be combining the wealth and the abundance and the earthly pleasures with consciousness now. So we're going to have this integration. So instead of having, you know, the poor light workers over here and the wealthy superficial people who aren't spiritual at all over there, we're going to have this braided integration of wealthy light workers, of abundant light workers. That's what this whole book I'm writing is all about. So Jane, for you, while you're there, if it feels, as my friend Dane would say, light and bright, if it feels light to you, if it feels integrative to you, if it feels healing to you, if it feels nourishing to you, then you're in the right place. When you start to feel lonely, when you start to feel like, I'm kind of bored here, how many more, kangaroos can I look at, that kind of thing, then it's time for you to start to make your journey back. Do I think you'll go back into the same level of intensity that you were in your first career? No. There's not a matter of really going back anymore. And I caution anyone to say, I just want to get back to where I used to be because I was so happy then. I know that, Jane, you're not saying that, but a lot of people do say that. You don't want to go back to anything, because if you try to go back, you're also trying to reverse your energy, and that can't happen. The energy, the planet isn't even the same. You're not going to go back to anything. But when you go forward, or when you evolve into that, sort of dissolve into that next version of you, if we're saying that time is kind of doesn't exist, as you kind of dissolve and integrate yourself into the next version of you, okay, and you evolve into that, you will find a balance that you've never experienced before, and it'll be very, very nourishing, and sort of in society and civilization, but without as much of this sort of compartmentalized version of your work. For now, if you feel comfortable there, then allow yourself to be there, and hopefully that's helped. Was that helpful? I know we had some interference.
That was wonderful, Mari. Thank you.
Have a great holiday and enjoy the bush. Okay, let's see here. Who else do we have? Betsy in Connecticut. Hi, Betsy. How are you?
I'm well. Hi, Mari. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. How can I help you tonight?
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of Access. I've been listening to you for well over a year, and I just wanted to say it's so fun to see all the success you've had and to watch you, grow as an entrepreneur and a light worker, and you're very inspirational to me. I have been asking, what contribution can I be to consciousness, to the universe, and I sit in stillness and I, go out there every day, and I'm a massage therapist. I'm working in a chiropractic office, but I'm just wondering, I feel like I can be doing so much more.
Yeah. Why do you feel that your voice doesn't matter?
I'm sorry. Wow, because I've been told that in so many ways pretty much my whole life, and otherwise told to just be quiet.
Yeah. So, we cut to the chase here on the Aha Moments radio show, right?
No kidding.
So
I will run a stupidity clearing on that.
Oh, don't get me started with Dane and his stupidity clearings. We have had knockdown, drag-out fights about the word stupidity. So tell him if you talk to him, I love him, but I'm still fighting him on the stupidity word. What I would say, I like his energy, space, and consciousness clearings a little bit better, because when you've been hearing all your life that your voice doesn't count, to then start going into a clearing about how stupid you are for having not let your voice count doesn't really compute with your energy. And you in particular are very sensitive. So what I would suggest, although, sometimes it's great. It's great for, a guy. Guys can handle a little better than women. But it's great. I'm listening to your energy. I feel your energy. And what you need is, what energy, space, and if we're going to do Access, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to receive the greatest part of me? And allow that awareness to come up from that place, as opposed to what stupidity am I using to create this thing that I've been choosing. Like, come on, seriously? We'll knock it out again, but, we'll put up our dukes together again on that. But I think energy, space, and consciousness, and that's also Dane, that's their Gary and Dane stuff too. What energy, space, and consciousness can I be to receive myself in totality? Okay? Because what you are not, you can't express what you're not receiving of you. And that's the voice. And that's why you kind of like hiding out doing this. And your massages are like not normal. They're over the top. People walk out and they're like healed for years, So you're hiding in the chiropractic's office, kind of like doing your little thing and saying, gosh, you know what? I touch this person's ankle and I get like a download from Christ, like I know you can feel it in your energy. So it's time to, once you allow yourself to receive your voice yourself, and then you start writing it down. You've got books, you've got workshops. You have a spin on your experiences that is extremely valid. And understand, and this is for all, and you're not the only one on this call who's asking the same kind of question, but understand that for every light worker that comes in, okay, we all have our tribe that's waiting for our work. And so you will never, ever be short on clients when you step fully into what you're feeling, that longing or that inspiration to do. Now, does it mean that you're going to have one calling to be one thing for the rest of your life? No. If you're looking for that, that's maybe why you're stuck. Not everyone is supposed to be the president of the United States. And even if you talk to Obama, that wasn't his only goal. It wasn't his only purpose, but he has a purpose as a father and a purpose as a philanthropist and a purpose as a senator and a purpose, your purposes change over time. And they're multifaceted. You have multiple purposes at one time. So that's another thing that I think you're constricting yourself with, is this perception that you're supposed to have this big calling like Moses, and you're supposed to go up on the mountaintop with the tablets, bring them back down, have a bestseller, be Marianne Williamson, and live happily ever after. It doesn't really work like that.
Oh, my God. Okay. You are amazing. You are amazing. I have chills. I have Marianne Williamson's quote on my wall in my room. You are so funny. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I know.
Well,
it's good. Kudos to you, because you guys, everybody, people give me a lot of credit, but you know what? I'm only as good as you're willing to flow the energy. It's a two-way street. So you've been doing your work, and that's why I can help to mirror to you what it is you're trying to say to you, And so it's not me. It's really you. You're willing to receive you now. I was just a steward to help you to see that and to articulate it. Be willing to receive you. Your voice counts. Write it down in a journal. And, write it over and over again. Go down to brass tacks, and my voice counts, my voice counts, my voice. We all go through this. I go through it. We all go through it. But your voice counts. And believe me, you already have a predetermined tribe of folks that you've kind of contractually, energetically agreed with that you were going to serve, contribute to on their journey while they were here in your soul group. So you're not going to be short of clients or of listeners or of readers for whatever it is you put out. Just be willing to step into that body of knowledge and know you in particular, Betsy, have a channeling contract. And once you tap into that, when you're willing to listen to your own voice, and you'll also be willing to listen to the voice of your guides, and once you do that, they will give you new stuff to say. You just have to stop saying, I don't count, and then all that can flow.
Wow.
You have the podcast. Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
And your voice counts so much. You are helping so many people. Thank you so, so much.
You are so, so welcome. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that was helpful.
Thank you. It really was. Have a great night and happy holidays. And thank you so much for taking my call.
You're so welcome. Thanks. You made my night. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday. Okay, well, we already got to our next break, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to do our holiday guided meditation. So get your lists ready. We'll see if we have some more time to take a couple calls. If you want to call in, it's 347-215-9485. And 347-215-9485. I'm Mari. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show. We'll be right back.
Are you at a crossroads in your life? Facing big decisions about your life purpose, business, relationships, or other major issues? Are you wondering why you may be delayed in getting what you want? Or if you have special guides who are helping you? Then investing in a private intuitive reading with Mari is just what you need. As a third-generation spiritual intuitive, Mari has worked with thousands of clients over the past 18 years. During your private session, you will learn who your guides are, receive insight on the core issues that need attention, and get new perspective, clarity, and inspiration on what to do next. To register, go to www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Work with Mari tab to get all of the details. There are a limited number of spots each month, so go to www.ahamomentsinc.com for yours now.
Do you ever get a hunch about something and ignore it, only to find out later you were right after all? Do you know that you're intuitive but need help interpreting what you get? Need quick answers to burning questions but don't have the time to wait for a private reading? Then Mari's Intuitive Living Oracle cards are the tool for you. 45 gorgeous laminated cards and a full book of interpretations come together in a beautiful velvet bag. The cards have been designed and energized to give you the answers right now. No more sleepless nights weighing pros and cons. Ask the cards your questions and see what message your intuition has for you. To learn more and get your deck now, go to the store at www.ahamomentsinc.com and click on the Intuitive Living cards now. That's the store at ahamomentsinc.com. The answers are truly within your reach.
Step back in time to the very beginning, before life as we know it existed. Stones have been on this earth since before the inception of man. They are keepers of ancient wisdom and messages. Tap into the profound wisdom of stones and let your journey begin at the Rock Girl Sacred Stone School. Let the Rock Girl take you back to those ancient days to learn firsthand the language and the secrets of stones. The Rock Girl will teach you how to develop your very own technique of communicating with them, allowing you to embark on your own path of self-discovery. Courses include Reiki, psychic development, chakra balancing and auric cleansing, hands-on healing, and more. Visit sacredstoneschool.com for classes and workshops taught exclusively by the Rock Girl of therockgirl.com.
Hello, we are back. You're listening to the Aha Moments radio show, and we've been doing all kinds of stuff tonight. We started off a little somber, and then we did some readings and talking about all this change we're going through, and now we're going to do our annual holiday guided meditation. So hopefully you have your list of what you most desire, and just know that I want you to consider something. There's two sentences I want you to consider. One is a suggestion that you hold your own well-being sacred. You know, and what does that mean? Hold your own well-being sacred. A lot of times, especially now, we've really, and especially during the holidays and everything, we really, really, really focus on other people. Kids, family, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, you know, even our animals, houses, our jobs, gosh, you know, the stock market, all these things where we hold everything else sacred, but we really sort of put our well-being aside, and based on, you know, past energies that in our evolution, past times are, you know, the dark ages and the biblical times, and you know, the times of the, you know, the like American Revolution, all these times through our civilization as we've evolved, putting yourself on the back burner up until about the 60s when everybody decided to be flower children and only care about themselves. Putting yourself on the back burner was to be honored, right? You know, to be honored. And especially for those of you who are women who are listening in, I know we have our share of guys too, but holding and guys that go through this too because they're so expected to provide, right? So we have this whole thing, I have to put everything ahead of me. I have to provide. But your own well-being is sacred. Your own well-being is important. And just like we were talking to Betsy, your own voice is important. And when you find that, and when you make yourself as sacred as everything else in your world, you will see things change dramatically because you are telling the grid, you're telling the universe that you get it now. You get what they already know. And when we hear about this, I want to align, you need to be a vibrational match to the things that you desire. You must be a vibrational match. And then for like a decade, since we all started hearing that, we're going around trying to raise our vibration. And how am I vibing yet? Am I vibing with the Bentley? Am I vibing with the house? How do I raise my vibration when I can't pay my bill? Well, the universe gets that your vibration, it's already there. But you have to hold it sacred. You don't have to raise your vibration. You just have to recognize what it is. How can you, if you're a child of the universe, as Captain Ponder says, you're a child of the universe, you're a child of fortune, if you're a child of God, if you're a child of this perfect energy, of this infinite self, if you're this infinite self that just happens to allow a portion of that infinite being to come into a vessel to experience a life on earth, why are you unworthy? How could your own well-being be anything but sacred? How could ignoring that embezzled part of you for somebody else make sense? So the reason why I'm saying that is because when we go into this meditation, the fuel that's going to actually bring it so that it shows itself in your physical world, it actualizes itself in your physical world, is your willingness to recognize it and to receive and accept it, so that I'm open to receive and willing to accept portion, is what brings it into your visible form. You don't have to raise your vibration. You don't have to try to zap yourself and plug in and do all this breathing and all this chanting and everything to raise something. You just have to be in alignment. And alignment is willingness. It's willingness. And your willingness to recognize your own divinity and not to put anybody or anything on a pedestal above you, but to allow allow yourself to just hold yourself in good and high regard. The other thing I'd like you to consider is life itself correcting. When you hold yourself and your own well-being sacred, all of life is allowed to flow. Life always rights itself if you allow yourself to go with that flow of your well-being. And so when we talk about feeling light, feeling heavy, moving towards the things that make us feel light, moving forward to the things that we get these positive intuitive hits on, listening to our own voice, allowing our voice to come forward, we then allow the flow of life to happen. And it always rights itself. Life is about balance. That's why we're going through all these changes now. It's because we're balancing. There's a counterbalancing. Has there been a lot of destruction? Yes. How many times have I heard people say today, oh, the world is just awful. Every system is a mess. It is not. Even in this massacre, and please don't start emailing me and getting mad at me, but you know what? 20 kids died, and that was 20 kids too many. But 680 kids lived because the system did work. In the majority of it worked. The first responders did respond. This kid got through. He broke through, and he committed a crime, a heinous act. But we can't, kind of globalize it to the point where it's everything. And that, in this energy, as light workers, we have to be willing to also be grateful for what was right about the situation. And with that, life can be self-correcting. And it will balance. And we will mourn, and we will honor, and we will bless, and we are all on the same page with that. But we also have to step forward. And the way that you step forward without being debilitated is to hold your own well-being sacred so that you, too, can have the space. When you hold yourself sacred, you fill up with you. And then there's a whole lot more of you to give to everybody else. And there's a whole lot more of you to contribute. And you then hear a whole lot more of you of what you can contribute and what you desire to contribute. And then life can really, really correct itself on your behalf. And we don't have to work so hard on ourselves. Okay? So with that, let's go into this meditation. Sam, can you pull up our meditation music so we can get started? We have a few minutes left here, and you just take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, that I am. And as you inhale, I am. And as you exhale, at peace. And as you inhale, I am. And as you exhale, that I am. And as you're sitting in your chair and allowing yourself just to receive at this time, continue to breathe deeply. And as you take in oxygen, just envision it being a beautiful white light pouring through your entire body, fortifying and healing every cell. And as you exhale, envisioning yourself releasing all of the tension, all of the self-doubt, any kind of reservations that you have about the times that we're in, about all of the turmoil, the churn. Just allowing it to settle, allowing it to settle. Creating now a place of stillness, these moments, allowing yourself just to be still. There's no such thing as time. There's no such thing as you must do this quickly, fast, or slow for that matter. Just be. It's about being exactly where you are, exactly who you are, holding your own well-being sacred at the time. Continue to breathe deeply. I'd like you to envision yourself getting up out of your chair and going towards a set of beautiful golden gates that open for you. Stepping through the gates, see an amazing crystal elevator with the doors wide open. It's shaped in the shape of an octagon, and it's all glass. You can see all the way through it. The doors close behind you, and you begin to descend down the floors. 10, 9, continue to breathe deeply. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue to breathe deeply. The door is open, and you are now walking into the garden of manifestation. You're on a long, beautiful path with the scent of roses. This heavy scent of roses that is the highest frequency for opening yourself up to your intuition, to the voice of your angels and guides, and opening up your receptivity in every cell. Walking down this path, smelling this beautiful scent of roses, you get to a big meadow with a circle of white light that's coming up from the ground. Within that circle, a gateway opens. You step through the gateway, which closes behind you. Now you're in the complete circle of white light, the white light of protection. Walking to the center of the circle, taking a nice deep breath, taking it all in. You're just feeling this beautiful meadow. Seeing what does the sky look like? It's nice and blue. You're feeling that cool breeze across your face. Maybe it's a warm breeze. You can create the scenario that's best for you. Just observe and see what comes up. And as you're there, you see a ball of light coming towards you. And before you, your angel takes form. This is the angel, the guardian angel of manifestation, of actualizing what you desire. And as you look down at your hands, you're holding a scroll. This scroll is actually your list of what you most desire. Your angel asks you a question. What can I help you to bring to physical fruition in your daily life? What can I help you to receive? And you see a screen in front of you. As you look at your scroll, what you are reading about starts to show on the screen as a scene from the movie of your holiday wishes, your life wishes, your desires. Taking this now from the wish phase to the intention, your intentions of what you want to put on this new grid of energy. Recognizing that it will come forward to you faster than it's ever come before. Breathing deeply, taking in more oxygen will make the pictures appear much more vividly on your screen. Showing your angel exactly what you're most desiring. You want to speak to them with all of your heart. If you feel tears welling up, it's okay. You feel a sense of joy, a sense of lightness, a sense of elation, you're on the right track. If you're feeling a bit of doubt or like you should not ask for too much, please let that go. Let that go. And hold this list, this desire, these desires sacred, because whatever you're desiring is actually desiring you. What's on that scroll was inspired by the infinite version of you that has access to all things, to all outcomes, to all versions, to all dimensions of you. So if you are desiring it, it's because it came from infinite self of you. Came from you. So it is all possible. Breathing deeply, I'd like you to now look into the scene that gives you the most joy. The scene of this movie that you're showing your angel. Go back to the scene that gives you that most joy, the one that's of the highest priority for you, the one that if you could step right into it right now, it would make your heart sing beyond anything you have ever been able to imagine. That orgasmic, explosive, amazing energy of that coming to fruition that really give yourself the most joy, the most pleasure, the most of you. And as you look at this particular scene, I would like you to envision yourself stepping with your angel right into the screen, right into that scene. You're actually stepping into the dimension where that aspect of you is absolutely truth right now. stepping right into the screen, into the scene. All things stay the same that you want to stay the same. But as you step into the screen, you are right there. Right there, right now. Taking it all in. And because there's no such thing as time, we're not going to try to go back to where we are or where we were. We're going to allow ourselves to be in this new energy. We're going to allow ourselves to become the version of us where this is truth right now. And on a count of 1 to 10, we'll be back in our rooms with this new truth in flesh. You'll see some shifts happening quickly in your life, getting you to this point, allowing yourself for it to be available quickly as you're willing to receive it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can open your eyes right where you're sitting, right in your room. Just begin to feel your body, feeling your feet, moving your feet around, feeling your calf muscles, your knees, your thighs, feeling your torso, feeling your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, moving your hands around, your arms around, feeling your neck, your facial muscles. Really breathing deeply, feeling completely alert, awake, fully present. And just taking note. You may see now as you taking a nice deep breath, and you can, if you didn't already, you can open your eyes. And you may see that things look a little differently. You know, when you do these multidimensional workouts, as I call them, and I've been doing, this meditation was a variation of something that was channeled to me for myself. And when I came up from it, it was like, whoa, everything looks different. Things smell a little differently. Things just, because something has shifted. Everything, that you wanted to stay the same can stay the same, but those big shifts that you're desiring, you'll start to see some pretty amazing synchronicities start to happen to sort of accelerate you to recognize what it is you're desiring and where it exists for you in your world. You'll see things coming together much more quickly than they may have in the past. And you want to make sure that you drink a lot of water, which amplifies your intuition. It amplifies the energetic information coming to you. You want to get out in nature if you can. Take some deep breaths. If you happen to have a live Christmas tree, smell the pine. That will help a lot. Or if you're around, those beautiful pine cones, just lots of those scents around now that you can, access, get yourself to. Okay, but allow yourself to just play with this. And I know that there's a lot going on. But if you just say to yourself, okay, I'm in this space of peace and I'm in this space of receiving. And also, when you're thinking about the earth and you're thinking about the shifts and changes in the world, you can do this meditation or a variation of it. You can even do like a 60-second or a few minutes of this where you just sit down and you set your intention for the way you'd like the world to run, and envision yourself having conversations about, wow, can you believe that this law was passed, or that thing, that whole trend shifted to this, or these kids were found to be flourishing. My kids are flourishing, or my family is flourishing, and just allow yourself to really not get caught up in this as much as you can in this magnitude of drama that we have going on, and to allow yourself to really intend it so, because you are really creating now more than ever before. And you will start to see, even if there's other not so good things going on, you'll start to see more articles published on, like I said, the 600, the 580 or however many kids that were alive, and all the good things that they're doing to memorialize their friends, but also to flourish going forward. Some of the good things that are going to come up out of these tragedies, whether it's Hurricane Sandy or, so much is going on with that. That was, of course, eclipsed by, what's been going on. But you want to send energy and love to the earth, energy and love to the kids, to the animals, and to each other worldwide, regardless of choices or religions or, finances or whatever. So I just want to say, I want to thank you for listening. This has been 2 years for Sam and I doing the show, and this is our last live show for 2012. So I'm just wishing you all. I know we have been going through Hanukkah, and we have Christmas and Kwanzaa and all these different holidays coming up in the new year. And I just want to say thank you for listening. I'm going to say believe in yourself, believe in the earth, believe in that infinite version of you, and recognize divinity and everyone else, because we are connected to everyone else, be they good or what we perceive to be bad. We are connected, and we are powerful. You are powerful. Your voice matters, and if you allow yourself to honor that, keep your own well-being sacred, and know that life will correct itself as it is doing right before our very eyes. You're witnessing life self-correcting. You're witnessing it. Embrace it. If you resist it, if you try to go back to where you were, to get us back to where we used to be, to all the old times, impossible. We are literally light years ahead of where we were even this time last year. And it's changing rapidly, minute by minute, second by second. Stay current with your own energy. Don't try to go back. There's no such thing as time anyway. So you can create as you go. No, you can always choose a different choice. If you feel like you make a choice, have the courage to make the choice, and have the courage to know you can choose a different choice if it doesn't work. All right? So, as I say at the end of every show, you truly can have exactly what you want, or even better. You absolutely deserve it too. And in this new energy, on this new grid, I really mean it, anything, absolutely anything is possible. So keep it positive, okay? Have a great holiday. We'll see you in the new year. Take care, everybody. Good night.
You've been listening to the Aha Moments radio show with your host, Mari. Be sure to visit her blog and website at www.ahamomentsinc.com. That's AHA, moments with an S, inc.com. Also join Mari on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ahamomentsinc and Twitter at twitter.com/ahamoments. We can't wait to see you there.
breathing